Hey everyone, welcome back to Stack Nova. In the previous video, we learned about JX in React and how we can write HTML-like code inside a JavaScript. And in today's videos, we are going to learn another very important React concept called props. Now props are used almost everywhere in React application. They help component communicate with each other and make our code reusable. So don't worry if this sound confusing right now. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand what props are, we use them, and how data is passed between components. So let's get started. So first, let's understand on what props are actually are. Props stand for properties. In React, props are used to pass data from one component to another component, usually data flow from parent component to child component. Sometimes in interview the HR asks question, most of the interviewer asks question, can we send data from child to parent in React? So answer yes. Normally in React data flow parent child using props, but sometimes we need to send the data from child to parent. This is called reverse data flow. We achieve this by passing a function from parent to child, then calling that function inside the child component. Example, parent component create a function get data. Parent pass the function as a prop, send data. Child component receive the function using props. When button is clicked, execute the parent function. Data goes from child to parent. See, now we can see in here, we can make a we can uh, now practically we can see. Now practically we see. First we have to make a child data. Now we have to create a child data first. Child component we have to create. Now we have to create child component. We write now function name child. We now pass props. Name const message. Now we are declaring in string, write hello parent. We write hello parent. Now we write return. Now we have to write in JX button on click. Here we write give a parenthesis equal to less than greater than equal to greater than. Now we write props. Now dot send data. Now give a bracket. In bracket, and we have to close button. We close button. Now write a send button name send data. Now we have to export default. Write a default child. The file should be exported. Now we have to open to here. We now first we have to import child file. So now we import. Now here now now friends, now we have to create a inside a function nested type function get data. This is a method of okay, server data. Now we have to create a alert button, alert in parameter write data. Now here we return jx fragments. We now call child data, child file in here. Right now send data get data. Now close forward. See now we see on browser the alert button is undefined. Okay. Parent component created. See now you can see parent component created a function named get data. See here name get data. Parent passed that function as a prop. Here pass the parent in prop. Child component receive the function using props. So where see child function. Here the data is received from here. Sorry, here we didn't give a message. That's why we didn't get it. Now it's now good. Hello parent. See, now working very well. When we pass the data, when child send the data to parent, we have to implement in parameters we should give a value which we declare in here, variable which declaring data goes from parent. By default follow one way to data flow parent to child using prop, but if we want to send data from child to parent, we can pass callback function and from the parent component to the child component. Then the child component calls that function and send data back to the parent. This process is called reverse data flow in React. Now you know how we can counter HR in a question when they ask reverse data flow, then you can answer that data should be sent by child function. The data should be passed reverse data flow which achieved by the passing a function from parent to child, then calling that function inside the child component. This is called a callback function. Now where we are now going forward next step where what we want to know. Yes, now you can think props like function argument for you can think of props like function argument. For example, when we pass value into a function, the function use the data. Similarly, in React component receive data using prop. We create a component. Now let's understand practically is SRC folder. In SRC folder, new component write a user. Here we return. See, we now write here props in parameter. We return props and JX inside a JX we write props.name. So first we have to write h1 tag name hello hello and curly bracket props dot name. Now we have to move on to component of app.js. We now need to close here all these functions. This is the reverse function of parent child to parent data call. I will close that. Here we have to import user from user. Here we write user name, we pass string John, name pass John. You can see hello John. First we have to give a space, some space between them. Yes, hello John. We can write here, we can implement multiple data. Here we created our user component and component received props as a parameter. Now inside JS, now we can see here our output in browser we are output clearly shown. Here we passing prop called name John. Now React send this value to the user component. Now output is save the file and display on the screen successfully. Multiple props. Now how we use multiple props in React? Here we have to move on app.js. Now here we use multiple props. First we have to create page name is should be in curly bracket 22 and city should be in string. Age number should be always in integer and alphabet should be always be in string form. This is the data types which we implement in our coding skill. So cities should be named Delhi. Whatever you want to give your city name should you give. Now we will use here our child h1 tag. Now give age. Now write props dot age. Their name should be similar. Don't make a different. Here giving you small. You written other file small and here write capital. There is always be same alphabet we use, capital or small. You always use when you call a data. Always use lowercase, and when you define them, you always use uppercase. City props dot city. See, now you can see successfully our display on display. So hello John, age 22, city Delhi. So name we are receiving, age receiving, or city also inside the component using props. Why we use props now? You might ask, why do we even use props? The props make component reusable. For example, instead of creating separate component for every user, we can create a reusable component and pass different data using props. Example, so here we using the same component multiple times with different data, and this is one of the biggest advantage of React. See, now we can use multiple times same multiple times same component. We can call using same component multiple time. We can use same component in multiple time. Name should gives me uh, mj use multiple time. RDJ see multiple time you can you multiple same component you can use multiple time here. Now there are another clean way to use props called destructing. For example, now here we can now see user. Simply we remove props. I use curly bracket. I use name, age. Only we have to give a comma and city. Now we have to remove props. Instead of props, remove and we can use directly. But props is always using for dynamic data calling. See, hello John, age, everything can be printed. This make the code cleaner and easier to read. And in the modern React application, destructing is used very commonly. Passing JX using props, we can even pass JX on element as a prop or even button and component. Importance rule. One important thing to remember is props are read only. That means we should never directly modify props inside a component. Real project important. In real world project, props are used everywhere. For example, product card, user profile, dashboard, blog, card, navigation item. Almost every React application use props. So yeah guys, this is what the basic of props in React. Today we learned what props are, why we use props, passing data between component, multiple props, reusable component, disturbing props. In the end, in the next video we learn about the use state, hooks and how to make React application interactive. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you need any final year project, MERN, stack project or website development work, feel free to DM me. Thank you for watching.